Well, it's Tuesday, almost the end of January. And where am I here? I was just chatting with my colleague, and we were talking about how miserable our careers are at the moment. Not in the long term, but I mean, our current state of affairs is not great. It's just a miserable thing to watch someone deteriorate. Our narcissist boss is piling on the work in such a way that it looks like he might be trying to sell the business, but he might just be trying to fill some sort of void spiritually. It's unfortunate. So I am going to need a job sooner than later. I've got my resume about as polished as it could be. I've applied to maybe 10 places yesterday. I just got off work an hour ago, so I haven't really had time. Obviously, it's not something I can do on the clock. I don't have a private, I have my phone. I can use ZipRecruiter. That's where I do a lot of my applying. But I was talking to my colleague about how it is really who you know, and that's really frustrating. So, yeah, I'm casting a very large net. I'm willing to work anywhere. So I cast my net and grabbed some opportunity up here in Oregon. The first example was a scam. I'm going to review that job every once in a while. For those who've just shown up and not bothered to go see the videos from 20 videos back, but I'm born and raised in LA, and I decided I wasn't finding what I needed early in LA, so I cast a net, applied to a few jobs outside of the LA area, and I took a job up in Portland, Oregon. That job turned out to be not entirely the truth. They lied about the territory. It was a real job, and they essentially wanted me to install some home alarm equipment. And not only was it the alarm hardware, which I was kind of assuming it would be, but it's also the smart home software that we all know and love called Alexa and all those other smart devices, which is kind of corny because it's not ready for prime time. So that wasn't really my big complaint, but I didn't enjoy putting 300 or 200 to 300 miles a day on the car. That's what they lied about. So, oh, and during training, I wasn't getting mileage. They said that the job would pay mileage, but no, not during training. So here I am. I actually took two temp jobs before I got to the job I have now. So the second job I had was back last year when Delta Airlines and a couple of other companies, large companies, were hiring CrowdStrike. Well, I was one of the technicians to help with one of the local hospitals out here in Portland. So that job was only supposed to last a couple weeks. It lasted literally a couple weeks, although I was told it might last a little bit longer. So I had that job as an emergency replacement, and then I had to find another job, and I took a more permanent job. It was as a temp, though, only earning $20 an hour. So I couldn't really live off of that. I was working for Toyota, and as a temp, you only get paid half about what the job is really worth. So the energy was good, but I can't live off of that. So 3 months of that, I realized I felt like I was being exploited, working half the job's worth. So I needed a livable wage, and I found this job I currently have working for a very small MSP. We are essentially a team of 5, and here I am. Realizing my boss is narcissistic and just a very unhappy individual. He takes out his insecurities and his frustrations on his work. And I looked at his Glassdoor account. His online work reviews suck. He's got 3 stars. So the next time you feel like crap working for someone else, consider the idea that it's not you? It's really easy to assume that you're the one at fault if you have a domineering boss yelling at you like a dog. When your colleagues are talking to you about the same issue, understand and have some relief that it's not you. I think at this point, I'm not happy with this job, but at least I'm self-aware enough to know it is not a me problem. It is a boss problem. The boss is an unhappy individual. And people are inherently good and nice. We become jerks because of how we feel inside. So that's where the empathy comes. That's why I don't have the urge to snap back and have a tongue lashing in reverse. He doesn't deserve that because he's in pain. Recognizing that is part of what compassion is. You don't have to have a serious heart-to-heart conversation. You can just get up and leave, which is what I think has happened. A lot of us technicians have just got up and left, and I don't think he wants to admit that he is his biggest problem. He's taking on more clients than he knows what to do with, and he's not going to have enough of a collection of techs. All of us technicians are going to be so new to the environment. Like, I'm a senior level technician, but it takes months to figure out the operation you're working for. When I was at Toyota, everyone was talking about how I shouldn't worry too much about not knowing what I'm doing, not because I'm lacking skill, but there's insider information that only an insider is going to understand. So these are thoughts you can consider the next time you're an unhappy individual at your workplace. You might be a bad employee. You might be lazy. You might be incompetent. You might not be smart enough for the job. But consider what I've just spoken of. Those are my words for the night. Have a good night.